Hey guys, Flegg here, founder of Ethical Property Partners, the place where we help you to make annual returns on your property on a monthly basis. Something quite funny happened to us this week that I want to share with you. And I say it's funny, I found it quite amusing. I'm sure other people wouldn't have found it amusing, but we were the victim of an attempted fraud. So someone has gained our information, Ethical Property Partners information, and has created a bunch of invoices and sent them out to businesses in our name. They've obviously changed the bank details, etc. Now you might think, well, why are you doing a YouTube video about this, Frank? And also, why is it amusing? Well, a couple of things. Firstly, as property investors, I think we are constantly at risk of challenges, or constantly facing challenges, that's probably a better way of putting it, that we wouldn't encounter if we had a 9 to 5 job. I was at a training yesterday where a franchisee came up to me, didn't even know they had this transaction going on, and they've done a £70,000 refurb, and their income when the property sells is going to be £140,000. They're making a 70k profit. And I sat down with the guy, he said, can I just have 5 minutes, Frank? This is the situation. How am I going to overcome this challenge? And we overcame it for him, and he's going to make his 70 grand, and he's over the moon. That's a decent sized deal by anyone's measure. Put 70 grand in, get 140 grand out, never even owning the property. It's called an assisted sale. That's the deal that he's doing. So he's helping the vendor to sell. But my point is that challenge it's stress, isn't it? It's hassle that you wouldn't have in a normal day job necessarily. You probably have different hassles, but as property investors, we are definitely setting ourselves up to have challenges that we need to overcome. Now, I had one such challenge. It actually happened on Monday. On Monday, someone WhatsApped me and said, I've received this invoice, found you online, why have you invoiced us, blah, blah, blah. So I had a look at the invoice and thought that's not one of our invoices, and then had someone email us, and I thought, I know what's going on here. So I did all the normal stuff, notified the police, notified the fraud team, etc. Interestingly, they were really good. I was surprised at how proactive they were. So we've found this like a quite an enjoyable game, really, like a bit like a spy movie. So we've the estate agents who've been really helpful. They've been invoicing estate agents, which is interesting because obviously a property investment company. So they've invoiced loads of estate agents with these fraudulent invoices, but the estate agents are saving them in plastic wallets so that the fraud guys can fingerprint them. So they're going to fingerprint them. They're looking at the postmarks on the envelopes. They're really taking it seriously, which I like, because you hear too much about little old ladies being frauded of their life savings from unscrupulous people sat in their bedrooms, on laptops. And so on Monday, I was actually at a mastermind in London, and there's a great speaker there, a guy who runs the largest franchise, actually, one of the largest franchises in the UK, really successful entrepreneur. And on the way home on the train, I was thinking to myself, what would do? And this is useful. We talk about the virtual board. You can have anyone you want on your virtual board, and you can ask them any question you want. So I've got Richard Branson on my board. I've got quite a few different, very, very different types of people on my virtual board, and I've talked about that in previous episodes. But I put this guy on my virtual board just temporarily because I'd seen him this afternoon and we'd had a chat. And I said to myself, what would he do in this situation? I got the decision makers in estate agencies, local estate agencies around the East Midlands, contacting me, asking to speak to me. That's quite a novel situation. Now, yes, they're contacting me about an invoice that they shouldn't have received, and they're saying, why have you invoiced us this? So not the best premise to be chatting about, but they contacted me nonetheless. They're like phoning me on my personal mobile, emailing me, etc. I thought to myself, I can make use of this situation. It's a bit of a rubbish situation, but I'm now in a quality conversation where they are intrigued with the decision makers, like it's the owners of the estate agents. So I've started having these conversations. I've obviously explained the fraud and that, and said, please put them in the wallets, in the plastic wallets, so that the fraud guys can do their investigations and fingerprint them, etc. But while I've got you on the phone, can I talk to you about how we might be able to work together? And I just think that's such a, what's the saying? When life serves you lemons, go make some lemonade, something like that. And I thought, yeah, that's what that guy would do. So I started having these conversations, and all of a sudden this apologetic conversation, I'm so sorry we've been subject to a fraud, turned into a excited opportunity to sell, an opportunity to build relationships. And in fact, one of the agents said, well, actually, we're in the same town. Why don't you come down and have a coffee? And I'm thinking, yes, now I've got a nice donut strategy going with that decision maker who I've never reached out to before. They've actually now reached out to me. So I don't know how many more phone calls I'm going to get, but each phone call that comes along, I'm now seeing that as an opportunity. And I think that's what you can take from this episode, that when things happen to you in your property business, a bit like that guy who had the challenge with his £70,000 assisted sale, he's got that challenge. In overcoming that challenge, he's going to grow. He's going to get better at running his property business. He's going to get, he's going to develop coping strategies. He's going to develop skills. What the solution we came up with, by the way, was to go and sit down with a vendor, explain the situation honestly. This is what's happened. It's not gone to plan. However, this is our proposed solution. This is the paperwork that I put in place for it. Are you happy to sign this paperwork in order for us to go ahead with the assisted sale? He will be a better property investor because of that challenge. I think every time we have a challenge like this, we have two options. We can put our head in our hands and go, oh, I've got all these estate agents phoning me. This is a negative thing. It's draining my time, etc. Or focus even worse on, there's someone that's targeted our business. We're the victims. This is such a terrible world. Or we can choose to make lemonade. And by that, I mean, we can focus on the opportunity. I've now got people in my industry, decision makers who know motivated vendors who are phoning me. Woohoo! I can now have a chat with them and turn that into an opportunity. I really think, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's mortgage brokers, doesn't matter if it's solicitors, doesn't matter if it's vendors, wherever the challenge is coming from. If we adopt that perspective of this is a challenge for me, in overcoming this challenge, I'm going to grow. I'm going to become a better property investor as a result of this challenge. All of a sudden, it's a positive thing. I'm making a video to you guys. I'm helping however many people that listen to this and take action as a result because of that challenge that was presented to me a few days ago. So guys, if you've enjoyed this episode, please do hit the like button, click the subscribe notification there, and you'll be told each and every time we have an episode that comes out. And if you know someone who'd benefit from this kind of content, then do please share it with them. That would be fantastic. It'll help us to grow the channel. Until next time, guys, happy investing.